Dear students, once again I welcome you to this BA third year lecture. So, in the last lecture, we dealt with the 20th century literary background and we couldn't complete it. And in that lecture, we thought about the first four characteristics or features of the background, literary background I am talking about. If you remember, I would like to recall whatever I taught. Initially, I talked about the 20th century social background. As you may have gone through the lectures which I had posted in on the Telegram, it was followed by a literary background which I had begun in the last lecture. And in literary background, we talked about initial four important points. I'm not going to repeat them as you have that video lecture with you. You may please revise it once again if you want to. Now, I would like to resume our discussion from the fifth point. So, these features are nothing but it is the general tendency of 20th century writing in general. It means that if you think about 20th century literature as such, the whole body of 20th century literature may be encapsulated within these 12 important points. So, this is the general background to the 20th century literature. So, let's begin with the fifth point, fifth characteristic or feature, Vaishishti, I mean. So, it is delight in sensuous beauty. Sometimes the word sensuous may be a little bit problematic, but in present context, try to understand what does the word mean. The word sensuous is made from the word sensory that we often talk about. Sensory means, so it is said that we have certain sensory organs, Dhanendri in Marathi we talk about. For example, we have eyes, we have skin, we have tongue, we have nose, we have ears, like this. So what does this feature mean? Try to understand. According to this feature, 20th century literature was such literature which appeals our senses. It means that this 20th century literature is pleasant to, especially to our eyes and ears. It means that if somebody listens to a poem by XYZ poet from the last century, 20th century, so that poem may be pleasant to our ears. If somebody is reading a poem, so that poem may be of a different kind because it may definitely attract our attention towards its innate beauty. For instance, try to understand this example which I would like to put before you. There was an American poet, namely E. Cummings. And that poet, E. Cummings, he was a very different sort of poet. And his poetry was printed on pages in such a manner which was very, very beautiful. For example, if he wanted to write on a butterfly, so that poem was printed on the page as if it was the picture of a butterfly. Try to understand, as if the butterfly is flying, and the same way. So those words in the butterfly shape, they were printed on the actual page. For example, if he wanted to write a poem on an apple, the words were printed on the page as if it was an apple. In this way, so that poetry necessarily is sensuous. It means that it appeals to our eyes. It attracts our attention towards its beauty. It means that 20th century poetry, once again I repeat, it is beautiful to eyes and it is beautiful to our ears. So it is pleasant to our eyes and it is pleasant to our ears. So this is something that is important. So in 20th century there had been so many literary pieces which were written by many British writers and even by so many Americans. And if you go through an excellent writer like D.H. Lawrence, or if you go through important dramas and even poems by a great writer like T.S. Eliot, you will come to know that if you listen to the poetry or if you listen to the actual plays by this T.S. Eliot, or if you listen to the novel, if somebody is reading it, if somebody is reading that novel loudly, and if you listen to that novel, so that listening will be a pleasant activity. I am talking about the novels by D.H. Lawrence in this context. In your syllabus, there is a beautiful novel by him entitled Sons and Lovers. So if I read that novel, that reading may be very, very pleasant to our ears. So 20th century literature as such, it appealed to our senses. आपल्या ज्ञानेंद्रियांना म्हणजे खरं तर आव्हान करणारं साहित्य म्हणा किंवा आपल्या ज्ञानेंद्रियांना म्हणजे आल्हाद देणारं साहित्य हे 20व्या शतकातलं. So this is something about delight and sensuous beauty. It means that the writers or the novelists, poets or dramatists, they always had that delight to describe that sensuous beauty which was flowing through the ink of their pen. So try to understand. It means that always most of the people, most of the writers from the 20th century got that delight by describing that sensuous beauty. Sensuous means which appeals to our senses. आपल्या ज्ञानेंद्रियांना म्हणजे आल्हाद देणारी, आपल्या ज्ञानेंद्रियांना म्हणजे काय वेगळ्या अशा अर्थानं म्हणजे चालवणारं अशा प्रकारचं हे म्हणजे साहित्य आहे. इट डज नॉट मीन दॅट 20th century writing is necessarily sweet to our tongue. It does not mean anything like that. Okay, so this is a sort of proper understanding that you need to have. So it is pleasant to our eyes, it is pleasant to our ears. So, and in this way, so the 20th century writers also had that delight by describing that sensuous beauty through their literary pieces. So this is the fifth point, fifth characteristic. Sixth is humanitarian spirit. So if you understand the word humanity, so you will be able to understand the word humanitarian. Humanitarian, this is a very, very important feature of the age or the literature of the age. Humanity means in Marathi, manavata. Okay. And humanitarian means manavtavadi ya arthana. It means that 20th century literary pieces projected humanity through it. So how it happens, just try to understand. There are so many novels by Salman Rushdie. He is one of the greatest writers of our age. So there are so many novels written by him. So, for example, there is an important novel called Midnight's Children by Salman Rushdie. It is based on the partition of India and how that historical event left so many scars on the generations to come, which are living in India and in Pakistan. So, if you read some of the there is the central character in the novel called Salim Sinai, and when that Salim was living in Pakistan, and the way various conditions from Pakistan are being described by the novelist in that novel, so basically, a lot of sympathy is created in our mind towards the common people living in Pakistan and even in India. Okay. So, there was one more novelist, namely Ernest Hemingway. The last year, you studied a beautiful short story by Ernest Hemingway entitled Old Man on the Bridge. The same writer who wrote the story Old Man on the Bridge, he wrote a novel, namely, he has written so many novels. So, but the most significant novel is The Old Man and the Sea. That novel talks about the common people who are working on sea, sailors, for example, or those people who do the work of fishing on the seas. So the description about those people is given in that novel. It's a beautiful novel. If you get a chance, please read that novel. It is one of the best novels of the world. The Old Man and the Sea is the title. In that novel, the way Hemingway, the novelist, describes the life of common fishermen, how those fishermen have to work a lot on the sea, the way they face so many difficulties while fishing, their poverty, their difficulty, their challenges, their needs, their aspirations, their dreams, etc., etc., always project the humanitarian spirit of the writer. So Hemingway I am talking about. The last year, The Old Man on the Bridge you studied, even in that story, while reading that story, people definitely have sympathy about the person, the old man, who is affected by the Second World War at that time. So this is something important about the 20th century writing. It means this writing is humanitarian. मानवतावादी अशा प्रकारचं साहित्य आहे. So there are so many examples of this kind. In one of the previous lectures, I talked about writing or novels by William Golding. So he also projects that humanitarian spirit in those novels. Lord of the Flies is a beautiful example of Golding's novel. There are so many writers of the last century who wrote in such a manner that reading of literary piece will definitely create some sympathy towards the people which have been presented in that literary piece. So, in general, most of the 20th century literary pieces create this humanitarian sort of, you can say, feeling in the reader's mind. Okay, so this is the sixth feature or characteristic. Feature as well as characteristic. These words mean vaishishtya. I had told them in one of the lectures. Next is disillusionment. Disillusionment means in Marathi Brahmaniras, or even in English, frustration is the word. It means that most of the literary pieces of the last century project this humanitarian spirit, as I talked about it. And along with it, 20th century writings also project disillusionment, frustration of the people. It is being projected, it is being presented through the literary pieces. So there are multiple reasons of this frustration, and one of those reasons is urbanization. And as you know that this urbanization created so many problems in people's life. So many a time this urbanization caused so many serious problems. And because of those problems, there is very significant problem of loneliness. So people are getting lonely and lonely day by day due to urbanization. We don't know who is living in the next flat on the same floor. So we are among so many people. We are in a crowd, but we are hardly associated with the members in that crowd. We are lonely, and because of multiple reasons, 20th century people faced this frustration, disillusionment, and as that frustration is very suggestive, so because of this frustration, because of this disillusionment, we find that people are committing suicide. Very fresh example of the Sushant Singh Rajput is there before us. So people are frustrated. There are multiple issues, and this frustration amounts to so many you can say very serious steps, problematic steps that people have. So extreme step is this as you know, suicide. Even the extreme step is the killing of so many people. So there are so many examples that we come across, especially those examples are from the Western countries. So a person takes a gun in his hand and he goes on shooting the people around him. So this is nothing but this is happening because of this frustration, because of this disillusionment. So 20th century writing in general present this disillusionment. The dark face of the 20th century is this frustration or disillusionment. And this frustration, this nothingness, this problematic condition, this disillusionment is presented through so many literary pieces of the last century, 20th century. The best example is of the poem The Wasteland by T.S. Eliot. So in that poem, we come across how 20th century people are suffering. They are living, but they are dead. It is said that in Hindi we often talk about Jinda Lash. They are nothing but a Jinda Lash. जिवंत आहेत पण म्हणजे काय जिवंत असून सुद्धा त्यांच्या अस्तित्वाला त्यांच्या जिवंतपणाला म्हणजे काय बिलकुल अर्थ नाही. अशा प्रकारचं एकंदरीत हे मागच्या शतकातलं वातावरण होतं. द सेम सॉर्ट ऑफ thing is projected in the 20th century literature, disillusionment. So in your syllabus you have a very beautiful play by John Osborne. Look Back in Anger is the title. And in that play, we come across the kind of frustration that lower people of England had after the Second World War, after especially 1950s. So how those people had that frustration, how those people wanted to take extreme step because of this frustration. So day by day, if you think about psychiatrists, day by day, there are so many people visiting psychiatrists nowadays. There is hardly any family which does not have the consultation of a psychiatrist, manovikar tadnya. Okay. So it is happening because of this frustration. So that frustration is projected in most of the literary pieces of the 20th century. Next is religious note. So more or less 20th century writing is of religious nature. म्हणजे धार्मिक अशा प्रकारचं म्हणजे काय थोड्याफार प्रमाणामध्ये म्हणजे काय एकंदरीत सजेस्टिव्ह असं काहीतरी म्हणजे लेखकानं कवीनं केलेलं असतं. सो इट टॉक्स अबाउट समथिंग रिलिजियस, इट टॉक्स अबाउट समथिंग स्पिरिच्युअल. स्पिरिच्युअल मीन्स आध्यात्मिक. सो once again I would like to talk about the poem The Westland by T.S. Eliot. In that poem, if you think about the concluding fifth part of the poem, that poem is divided into five parts. And if you think about the concluding part of the poem, What the Thunder Said, this is the title of that part. And if you especially think about the conclusion of the poem, so poet tries to suggest that, so in our life, if you want to have meaning, then you need to have at least something religious, at least something spiritual that you need to have in your life. आध्यात्मिक किंवा धार्मिक अशा प्रकारच्या म्हणजे काय खरं तर साहित्याची निर्मिती 20व्या शतकामध्ये झालेली आहे. It does not mean that 20th century literature is not insecular. Okay, so or in other way. So try to understand this religious nature of the last century literature. So Sons and Lovers is a beautiful novel by D.H. Lawrence in your syllabus. So that novel also speaks of a very different kind of religion. And that religion is the religion of blood. Religion of blood. Okay. It means that, so if you go through some of the important novels, besides this Sons and Lovers, so you will come to know that D.H. Lawrence tries to suggest something that is important. He tries to suggest the importance of our, you can say, bodily needs. Many a time our bodily needs are being neglected. Many a time we do not pay that much proper attention to our bodily needs. And because of that, so many issues that we come across. So in one of the novels, D.H. Lawrence says that flesh is wiser than the intellect. It means our body is wiser than our brain. So through this line, he tries to underline the importance of our bodily needs over the needs of our brain or needs of our intellect. So this is something typical about D.H. Lawrence. So in most of the novels by him, he is found talking about the importance of bodily needs. There is Sons and Lovers, the novel that is there in your syllabus. There is the other novel, Rainbow. Even we have Lady Chatterley's Lover. We have Kangaroo. So The White Peacock. There are so many novels, The Plumed Serpent. So all these novels talk about very different kind of religion. So that religion talks about the needs of our body. And because of this, D.H. Lawrence was regarded as a very, very explosive sort of writer. Okay. He was thought to be very, very एक्सप्लोजिव्ह म्हणजे स्फोटक अशा प्रकारचं साहित्य. ओके, म्हणजे अतिशय वादग्रस्त अशा प्रकारचा लेखक होता. त्याच्या मृत्यूनंतरच खरं तर त्याच्या साहित्याला जगभरामध्ये प्रसिद्धी चांगल्या प्रमाणात मिळाली. His own country, England, had banned some of his novels. पण त्याच्या मृत्यूनंतरच म्हणजे काय लोकांना म्हणजे त्याचं महानपण समजलं. So 20th century writing is necessarily religious. There are many poems by W.B. Yeats, who is there in your syllabus in the next semester. So W.B. Yeats, some poems are completely religious in nature. There is a very, very beautiful poem called The Second Coming by W.B. Yeats. That poem is necessarily religious. Because in Hinduism we talk about yada yada dharmasya glani bhavati bharata. Similarly, in the poem The Second Coming, the poet says that whenever this lack of order is there in the world, definitely the God will once again arrive in the world, or he will open his third eye, as per the Hinduism we talk about. Okay, so 20th century writing is necessarily religious. Next is metaphysical note. Metaphysical means beyond physical. It means beyond its actual existence. So try to understand what I am willing to point at. In 17th century, there was a group of writers, especially poets. They were called as metaphysical poets. Those poets talked about something which was beyond existence. म्हणजे आपल्या अस्तित्वा पलीकडच्या म्हणजे गोष्टींचा खरं तर उहापोह त्या लोकांनी त्यांच्या कवितांच्या माध्यमातून केलेला आहे. The most important poet, metaphysical poet, was John Donne, then Andrew Marvell, and some other poets were there. So what these people tried to say was metaphysical. म्हणजे ऍक्च्युअली अस्तित्वात असणाऱ्या गोष्टींच्या म्हणजे काय पलीकडच्या गोष्टींचा म्हणजे उहापोह म्हणजे वर्णन खरं तर या लोकांनी त्यांच्या कवितेच्या माध्यमातून केलेले आहे. मेटाफिजिकल पोएट्री आय एम टॉकिंग अबाउट. फॉर एक्झाम्पल, they talk about very different kind of love which may not exist in the world. They talk about very different sort of religion. So the notion of these people's faith was very, very different. I am talking about metaphysical poetry. And metaphysical poetry was very, very difficult to understand. So there was a great religious note in that poetry. Those poets wanted to show their intellect through that poetry. It means there had been so many important tendencies of this group of poets, metaphysical poetry. The same sort of tendency is found in the 20th century literature. I repeatedly cite the example of T.S. Eliot because most of the poems of T.S. Eliot are completely metaphysical. म्हणजे ज्या प्रकारची ऍक्च्युअली 17व्या शतकामधली मेटाफिजिकल कविता होती तशाच प्रकारची कविता आहे म्हणजे 20व्या शतकामध्ये सुद्धा काही प्रमाणात. Especially the poetry of T.S. Eliot. That poetry is like metaphysical poetry. T.S. Eliot's poetry is difficult to understand. It talks about religion. It talks about spirituality. It talks about human love. It talks about the material life of the people of the age. So, 20th century, especially poetry in general, and especially the poetry of T.S. Eliot, so that poetry is metaphysical. Means it is difficult, it is religious. Through that poetry, the poet is willing to show his or her intellect. So many features of the metaphysical poetry are found in the 20th century writing. I have to cite the example of T.S. Eliot again and again because T.S. Eliot is one of the very, very important poets of the world I am talking about. I am not saying that he is one of the important poets from English literature. Okay, so such as the stature or the excellence of T.S. Eliot. So metaphysical poetry had certain features, and the same amount of features have been found in the 20th century poetry. So this is the 9th feature. 10th is symbolism. Symbol means pratik. What is pratik? Try to understand what is symbol. आपण असं म्हणतो ना, म्हणजे there is a ray of hope. The word ray is symbolic. म्हणजे काय, आशेचा किरण आहे. किरण हा शब्द symbolic आहे. Because the word ray or kiran suggests something positive. Okay, this is a symbol. For example, in BA first year, you studied a poem, Red Red Rose. Oh, my love is like a red red rose, newly sprung in June. Robert Burns' poem. So a red rose symbolizes love, as you know. Actually, you know more than me sometimes. So, certain things are suggestive, certain things are symbolic. 20th century literature is symbolic literature. It is because that literature suggests so many symbols. And this symbolism in English literature came from French poets. So there was a French poet, Mallarme, then Baudelaire, Rimbaud. All these French poets were highly symbolic. The writing was highly symbolic. म्हणजे त्यांच्या कवितेमध्ये अनेक प्रकारची म्हणजे काय प्रतीकं म्हणजे या लेखकांनी वापरलेली आहेत. Similarly, 20th century literature is symbolic. All the poems of T.S. Eliot are completely symbolic. वेगळ्या प्रकारची प्रतीकं वापरतो T.S. Eliot त्याच्या कवितेमध्ये. So there is a poem, love song that I am going to deal with after this lecture. So that poem is necessarily symbolic. It symbolizes the overall condition of the modern man. Even the poems of W.B. Yeats are completely symbolic. Yeats is prescribed in your syllabus. So suggestivity is there behind that symbol. So what is symbol? Sun rising is a symbol. Sunset is a symbol. Green color is symbolic. Red color is symbolic. Similarly, so 20th century writing was symbolic. So this is the 10th feature. 11th feature is age of verse liber. Verse liber can also mean free verse. Verse means poetry, poem. And what is free verse? In Marathi we have a word मुक्तछंद. म्हणजे 20व्या शतकामधली कविता म्हणजे बहुतांशी कविता मुक्तछंदातली आहे. मुक्तछंद इन द सेन्स मीन्स म्हणजे एखाद्या कवितेमध्ये तुम्ही पाहिलं असेल, वन डे आय रोट हर नेम अपॉन द स्ट्रँड अँड केम द वेव्स अँड वॉश्ड इट अवे. अगेन आय रोट विथ द सेकंड hand. This is rhythm. Okay, so that poem, one day I wrote her name, is rhythmic, or it has certain rhyme scheme. म्हणजे that is not free verse. म्हणजे ती छंदबद्ध लयबद्ध अशा प्रकारची कविता आहे. पण छंदबद्ध किंवा लयबद्ध नसणारी जी कविता असते, that poetry is called as मुक्तछंद. लय नसतो, ताल नसतो, म्हणजे ताल असेल पण राईम स्कीम वगैरे नसेल. ओके, 20व्या शतकातली कविता म्हणजे बहुतांशी म्हणजे काय मुक्तछंदातली कविता आहे. सो the poems which are there in your syllabus by T.S. Eliot, those poems are in free verse. Okay. यमक नसणारी कविता आहे बहुतांशाने. आणि यदा कदाचित यामुळं देर हॅज बीन अ बंपर क्रॉप ऑफ पोएट्स. याच कारणामुळं खरं तर कवींचं खूप मोठ्या प्रमाणात म्हणजे पीक आलेलं आहे 20व्या आणि 21व्या शतकामध्ये. कारण कुणीही येतं काही लिहून जातं, लय नाही, छंद नाही, यमकांची रचना वगैरे नाहीये. सो दिस इज समथिंग इम्पॉर्टंट. सो मोस्ट ऑफ द पोएम्स ऑफ द लास्ट सेंचुरी आर इन फ्री वर्स. म्हणजे बरीचशी म्हणजे कविता म्हणजे मुक्त छंदामधली कविता आहे ती. त्या कवितेमध्ये राईम स्कीम नाही, यमकांची म्हणजे काय जुळवाजुळव नसणारी अशा प्रकारची 20व्या शतकातली कविता आहे. सो दिस इज 11th feature. Now the last feature is foreign influences. Influence म्हणजे प्रभाव. On English literature, there has been a great influence of writers from non-English countries. For example, I talked about French poets Rimbaud, Mallarmé, Baudelaire. Even there had been so many important playwrights from France. They influenced writers from English literature. So, on T.S. Eliot's writing, there was a great influence of some writers from foreign countries. For example, on his writing, there was a great influence of Upanishadi. There was a great influence of a German playwright named Richard Wagner on T.S. Eliot's writing. So, these foreign influences were completely found in 20th century writings. Okay, so there was a writer named Ibsen. So there had been some writers from Norway, then France, then even we have Ireland. From Ireland, there have been so many writers like James Joyce, who influenced 20th century writing. Then we have G.B. Shaw. Originally, he was from Ireland. Then some other writers came forward. Even this fellow, W. Yeats, also was an Irishman, but he influenced 20th century writing. Okay, so in this way, so this is the 20th century literary background. 20व्या शतकाचं हे म्हणजे काय साहित्यिक अशा प्रकारची म्हणजे पार्श्वभूमी आहे. If there is anything that you haven't understood, you may please mail me. So some of you might be having my email ID. If there is any problem you face in connection with this matter that I taught about, or in connection with the lectures of English, Offline English, please mail me at dssurya@gmail.com. DSSURYA@gmail.com. So this is the literary background that we have studied. In the next lecture, we are actually going to begin the first topic, and it is the poetry of T.S. Eliot. Till then, thank you very much, and feel free to mail me if there is any difficulty. Thank you once again. Have a nice day.